So I know everyone who knows me is very much aware of my disease, multiple sclerosis. And you also know that my last video was all about multiple sclerosis and why I felt that I had made a terrible mistake not sharing more about my multiple sclerosis. And I was going to change that. And so today, I'm very excited to post this video about my multiple sclerosis. Now, let me adjust this camera just a little bit because it's throwing me off. I've got this big light in my face and it's kind of hard to get ready to look. Oh, something, by the way, if you're making these videos and you have to look at a camera where you know no one actually is at this time, it's kind of weird to look into this ring light. In fact, it can be blinding. Let me tone that down a little bit now that I have that other one here. There we go. To look at the camera and not looking at anyone. So this is kind of cute and kind of childish, but that's who I am. So I have this little Hello Kitty doll that has these little grippy hands here. And so what I do, I'm showing my age here, is I put it up here next to the camera so I can look at Hello Kitty. She's one of the brightest memories of my childhood. So she helps me focus on the camera and not trail off and look over here at the computer. So I'll try not to look at this computer because my monitor is right there. There's another monitor here. Maybe I should move that over to that. I can do that. Let me see. Some of you might know that I'm a bit of a tech junkie. So that is true. I am. I wonder if it'll let me move it. Interesting. So apparently I can't move a live stream. Well, that's a bummer. I guess I should have done this before I started. That's okay. Whatever. So I'll start up my other computer. Maybe it'll let me see a picture of a slideshow or something. Okay. Okay. Let's get settled. So today is April 11th, 2022. And today I want to talk about a very troubling symptom or change in my life because of multiple sclerosis. It could actually get me in trouble, like with the law. Today, actually, I knew I wanted to do this, and I just couldn't think of what to film or the reason to give to film. I couldn't figure out what it was about my multiple sclerosis that I wanted to talk about. So a little bit of a backstory. So today, my elderly mother-in-law was having a health struggle, and a mental struggle. She wanted to talk a little while, so I was over at my mother-in-law's house. Now, she's 90 years old. She is quite the battle axe, just like I am. And she's been through it. Actually, very similar things to me that she's been through also when it comes to marriage failures and such, and even loss of children, which I can't really say I know much about, but yeah, thank God. That's better lighting. So I was over at Dorothy's, and we had finished up our private chat, and I had my phone there with me, and I had recently got her an iPhone SE, and I actually picked up her phone with mine and put them in my pockets, and I just proceeded to start walking out. And then I put my hands in my pockets because it was cold outside. It's a very dreary weather day in central Illinois. And so my hands were cold. And I reached in my hands, like, what is that? And I had her phone. This is not the first time I've taken her phone when I was over at her house. So Tracy, what's the point? What are you doing? Well, that's actually something that has been a part of my journey with multiple sclerosis. You see, I do things that I know are wrong and I shouldn't do. And I think I may have touched on this the other video when I spoke about how I would, let me think. like for instance, one thing that I remember is that, and it really shook me, is that I had new medication. Actually, at that time, I was taking dextroamphetamine because I was still working and I needed to get through my day, and not depression, but sleepiness, fatigue, they call it, was a real problem for me. And I was still, a full-time pastor with my husband over our church, and I just needed to keep going on. So I had just gotten this dextroamphetamine, and it costs $100 a bottle. It's no joke. And I had just gotten it refilled, and it was in the bag, and it was on my table. I don't know if it was in the kitchen or not. And I know how valuable that was to me. We had just gotten it filled, and the cost is, we're not wealthy people. So I picked up this bag of medication that we had just bought, and I threw it away. I threw it in the trash can in the kitchen. Just threw it. What did I just do? Didn't even think about it. Didn't even occur to me. I just went on with my normal thing. I was just putting my keys down or putting my wallet down or my whatever, and didn't even think about it until it was time to take the pill. The next day, I think it was the next day. And I went to take my medication, and my medication wasn't there. And I always put my medication in the same spot. So what's the problem? So then like we all do when we lose keys or something important, you go back to the steps in your mind. Thank God that still works. And I actually went back and back and back. And to my absolute shock, I went to the trash can in the kitchen. There was my medicine. I had thrown it away. That's not a conscious thing. That was something that I had no conscious idea I was doing. In fact, I didn't even have a memory of doing it. I was tearing up the kitchen trying to find out where my medication had gone. And at last resort, like all of us, I went and I looked in the trash, and there it was. Now that was the beginning. One of the first things that had happened. Another thing after that, you would one off it, think, well, that just happened one time. And you might think, yeah, Tracy, that only happened one time. It's just, I had a brain fart, right? Well, with multiple sclerosis, your brain farts all the time. I mean, we're just firing and firing at all kinds of hours and situations. So another time when it had happened, and it happens a lot more now than it did then. So I kind of put it behind me and was just talking to my husband going, well, that was crazy. What the heck did I do that for? He goes, I don't know. That was weird, Tracy. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So now we have several years of, or not years, months gone by. And we had moved to our new blessed house in Grafton, Illinois. And I had all my art supplies together. And if you know, another thing about me is that art is incredibly important to me. I am an artist of just about every medium you could possibly think of, except for oil. I have never done oil painting. And well, the day is young. But art, I'm very artistically minded, and I need to create when I'm doing something, whether it be gardening or woodworking or painting or working with polymer clay and making cute little figures. I'm just always about that. So art supplies are incredibly important to me. I mean, they're like my vitality in this world is art supplies. My husband would say a little bit too much, but let's just put that aside. Anyway, I was reorganizing the craft room at that one house in Grafton, Illinois, and I had put my art supplies on top of the garbage can while I was maneuvering. It was a very small room, so it was kind of like those games where you move those little tiles to make the picture come to, kind of like Tetris, I guess you'd call it now. But when we were kids, we just slide the little tiles up and across and up and across until the picture came to the right way. And so that room was very small. So I had to kind of move everything that I owned in that kind of manner, like slowly, 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 slowly until my room came together and then everything would fit into place. It was a very small space. It's nothing like what I have now. What I have now is a dream making material in my craft room. I have everything that I've ever wanted in a craft room. And I am so thankful that my husband did this all for me and even put up shelves now so I can have all of my things right at my fingertips. Seeing my craft room makes me feel like the possibilities are endless for me, and I am ready to go whenever the good Lord lets me have a creative idea. So, that being said, and what now you know what art supplies mean to me, I actually put them in the trash. I had a box of and it was trash day. And my husband goes around just like a Tasmanian, creature and does trash, goes around every trash can in the whole house, garage and everything. And he not knowing, why would he know? Took my art supplies out because they were in the trash. Yeah. And put them out to the curb with the trash from the garage and the kitchen and all over the place. And I looked around my craft room like, where's that box of my art supplies? There was a whole box right here, right on top of this trash can. And at first I got mad at my husband. I was like, you threw out my art supplies. And I ran out to the curb, thankfully so. And it was just a few hours after he had done it. And it was all right there. And I took it inside. And I was like, he threw out my art supplies. And he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Where were they? And I was like, well, they were on top of the garbage can because I was maneuvering. He goes, well, Tracy, I just thought they were trash. I was like, yeah, they're not trash. He goes, well, maybe don't put them on the trash can, especially on trash day. And I'm like, well, you have a point. I was still mad, but I got over it. So that was a couple years back, not thinking anything of it then, but now I have a whole new point of view. See, that is a regular occurrence for me now. I take things and I put them in my pockets and take them away or throw them away. Like, for instance, we just recently got our car worked on. It took forever. And I was going to drive the car down to the dealership, and my husband was going to drive the other car. And I was holding the key for the other car in my fist so hard because I knew it was so valuable to me that I risked throwing it away. Can you imagine that? That you would have something that you knew was absolutely necessary and valuable to you, and you having to literally put marks with your fingernails into your hand and grip it and not use your hand for any other purpose because you knew if you did it, put it down, it would probably be in an area where it couldn't be found again or even thrown away. Yeah. So that really keeps you on your toes, and it continues to happen all the time. It happens. And this morning was just an opportunity to bring up a point here for my multiple sclerosis video for today. A troubling symptom or a consequence of my 30 years of multiple sclerosis is that I do things that I do not intend to do. And even worse, I discard things that are of the utmost importance. How do you control that, right? That's pretty scary. Well, you tend to be just a little bit more careful with things. And I have this really cute fanny pack I had from a website. It's called Rice Love, and it had broken. But that fanny pack had all of my cards, my wallet, my Medicare card, my insurance card, all the vital things, all in that fanny pack. And what that did was that gave me, I think, a little bit of a step of restraint so that I knew I wasn't at risk throwing anything away because it wasn't in my hands. Apparently, it's a thing. When things are in my hands, I tend to either take or throw away. That's what I do. That's how messed up my brain is from multiple sclerosis. The wires are just completely crossed. So the fanny pack was great. And then one day I was in the store and, it kind of frayed away after years of using it, and it just let go. And the fanny pack fell to the ground when I was in the bathroom at the store. And I picked it up and I held the strap of the fanny pack in my hand. And we must have been at Walmart, and I was squeezing it just so tight that my fingernails left marks, I'm sure. I mean, even right now, as I'm demonstrating it, my knuckles are turning white because that's how fierce this is to me, is that I can't let go of this strap and this fanny pack, because if I do, I will throw it away. And I knew that about myself. So I just clenched the strap and told my husband, this just broke. And he's like, oh man, I guess we got to fix it or sew it or something. And, to him, it wasn't a big deal. It was just like a purse or a fanny pack broke. We'll just fix it or get another one. What he didn't understand was that my fist never released that strap. I carried it around like this all through Walmart, to the point of leaving claw marks inside my hand, because I knew if I let go of that strap to my fanny pack, I would throw it away or leave it in the cart or put it on a counter or put it on a stack of clothes that I was trying on. That's one of the troubling, not a symptom. It's a causation. No, I don't know what it is. It's a life that I live now, and it's all due to multiple sclerosis damage in my brain. How's that for a troubling effect of multiple sclerosis on my life? I don't even trust my own hands, because I will throw stuff away. And I've done it. I threw away my glasses. They're gone. Thank goodness my mother-in-law on my ex-husband's side has a real joy buying glasses with all different prescriptions, because that's the only reason why I have glasses now, is because she does that. And I was able to partake in her little fun process of finding glasses that work for her. I wouldn't have glasses right now. I'd have to go to the eye doctor and spend a lot of money to get them replaced. And that could be overwhelming if I weren't careful, if I weren't mindful of it. I could be in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of things that you can do that you don't mean to do. Like sometimes leaving the chicken's house open at night, or not putting the feed in at night. Well, those are harmless things. I mean, they were fine. The birds are fine. No one got in and hurt them. And the bird feed sometimes gets left out because my memory is so bad, but that doesn't hurt anyone. If anything, that benefits whoever's, walking by our farm. They say, oh, wow, look at that. We get a free meal. So it doesn't hurt anyone. But throwing away things that matter, documents even, I can't even trust my own mind to keep my items in order. We hear so much about people with chronic disease like multiple sclerosis and how they get so discouraged and so depressed. And 100%, I understand. This is enough things to make me get hives. It freaks me out so bad. But thank Jesus himself that I have him, because I'm given an edge over some that might have the same problem or an even worse troubling symptom or sign that multiple sclerosis has damaged your life and your brain, because they don't have that edge. I have that edge. I have Jesus's spirit that lives inside of me. And when I get even close to doing something like that, he always alerts me that, hey, Tracy, I don't think that needs to go in the garbage. And I'll catch myself and be like, oh, and it's literally that startling. I mean, and I'll go tell my husband, you're not going to believe what I almost did. He's like, gosh, Tracy. I was like, I know it. There's nothing I could do. I can't even trust myself. This is insanity. Well, it's my life. And I'm thanking God every day that I have Jesus inside of me to be able to navigate this crazy, crazy brain damaged life that I have and keep everybody around me safe and keep their important documents and items out of my hands. So that's today's video. I was struggling with what I would talk about. I knew I wanted to go on live and talk about my multiple sclerosis, but I couldn't think of anything to talk about. You see, the joy of the Lord is my strength. That means that I'm always happy. Even when things go wrong, I'm still happy. It's a real superpower. I mean, we talk about Marvel and all of the superheroes, the DC comics and everything. No. The joy of the Lord is a superpower. And I have it. How blessed am I? And if you subscribe to my channel, you get to see it in action. Not a bad deal, right? I'm thankful you're here whenever you watch this video. If you have multiple sclerosis or suspect that you do, I want you to stop everything and get in touch with your insurance provider or in any hospital. They will provide health care for you for free if you don't have insurance. If you have any kind of concerns that might make you think that you might have multiple sclerosis, I want you to go to a doctor immediately and let them know. Don't be afraid. The future is much brighter for you than it was for me. Don't put off getting diagnosed. Go right today. Make a phone call. Do whatever you have to do to go towards seeing a doctor about your concerns, because they are diagnosing more and more easily every single day. Their criteria is much less vague and general, and they will help you and put you on a medication, not even a needle. You could take pills now. You don't even have to give yourself a shot. There's plenty of medication therapies for multiple sclerosis out there right now. And I want you to not be afraid. And I want you to go to the doctor. And I want you to start the process. And if it's something else, that's fine. They'll figure it out. But if it's multiple sclerosis, you need to know now, because the therapies are much better than they were when I started my journey with multiple sclerosis. And you will be kept from getting to the point where I am in my damage and disease progression. You don't have to be as bad as me. You can just put a stop to it right now and start your therapy. And things will look much brighter. You won't have to be on disability or have it to be throwing out your wallet or stealing someone's phone off a table that you love. Doesn't have to be that way for you. Go get diagnosed. Go see a doctor. Don't wait. I made a terrible mistake waiting. Don't wait. Okay, everyone, I'm glad you could be here. I'm so glad you're here watching, whether it be on the live or whether it be when I record this or put this back on YouTube. I'm grateful for you. And I hope that you find something interesting. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to strive towards another passive income stream, because disability doesn't pay a whole lot. And now that we've got Joe Biden in office, the dollar is not looking so great. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.